Bamberine Zanpie. Bamberine Batana.
Zanu devu hande, tono vatera hande. Zanu devu hande, tono vatera hande. Zanu devu hande, tono vatera hande.
Speaking in numbers, ZANU-PF youth vowed to show the opposition that they support the president. They say Emmerson Mnangagwa's call for elections to be free, fair and non-violent should be emulated.
We are also here to challenge other political leaders to say you must also come out in the open and say your position in terms of violence, in terms of peace. Because our president, who is also our presidential candidate, Comrade Zim Mnangagwa, has already taken a position which we are reaffirming today as the Youth League.
I want to thank the leadership of President Zim Mnangagwa. I want to thank all Zimbabweans who I know they will continue to support the Revolutionary Party. We know that, as our President Zim Mnangagwa has said, nyika inovakiwa neveni vayo, ilizwe lakiwa ngavanikazi. Hango inovakiwa neveni vayo. We know this mantle will carry us as Zimbabweans, and it will ensure that we continue to understand the ideals of the revolution.
Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front, better known as ZANU-PF, is a political party in Zimbabwe, one of the most major political parties in the country, and has been in power since Zimbabwe gained independence from the British colonial rule in 1980. ZANU-PF has played a significant role in shaping the political landscape of Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF emerged as a ruling party under the leadership of the former President Robert Mugabe, who served as the country's president for 4 decades until his resignation in November 2017. And since the resignation of Robert Mugabe, ZANU-PF has been led by President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
We leave no one in the Northwest land,
who served as Mugabe's vice president before taking office. The party continues to hold an imperative influence in Zimbabwean politics, and its members occupy key positions in government and state institutions. But however, the new dispensation has done very well in trying to bring Zimbabwe back to its world-class status.
Zim Cyber City, only for the elite. Hailed as one of the most exciting mixed-use property development projects in Southern Africa, Zim Cyber City is set to redefine the standards of modern living. Declared a special economic zone, it offers tax and import duty exemptions as well as guaranteed financial mobility. Brace yourself for a world where innovation, opulence and architectural genius converge to create a city of the future. The Milk Tower, to be one of the tallest buildings in Africa, will be the centerpiece of the development and a marvel of architectural excellence, capturing the very essence of the cyber city. The commercial and retail areas will pulse with energy and vitality. Zim Cyber City will, amongst other benefits, offer tax exemptions for residents importing vehicles and furniture, and is the first on-land duty-free mall, bringing the finest international brands to Zimbabwe at the lowest cost. Stretched across the cityscape will be high-end residential units, boasting over 80 luxurious villas that redefine comfort.
And Vision 2023 is fast becoming a true reality under His Excellency President Mnangagwa. As always, this episode is about to bring you nothing but interesting, phenomenal, exciting stories across the globe. Thank you so much for showing support. Please do not forget to go to our YouTube page every Sunday at 7 to watch The Alternative View and other episodes that you had missed out on. Make sure you do subscribe, like, and share. But before we get into the episode of today, let us quickly take a recap for last week's episode. Now, US President Joe Biden described the act as shameful and tragic violation of universal human rights.
Released just minutes ago from President Biden, it says in part, this shameful act is the latest development in an alarming trend of human rights abuses and corruption in Uganda. The dangers posed by this democratic backsliding are a threat to everyone residing in Uganda, including U.S. government personnel.
Now, LGBTQ plus community was a very sensitive topic to touch base on. I'm talking about discrimination and stigma, language and terminology, coming out and disclosure, mental health, and their well-being, legal and human rights issues. I mean, I would not say it is important to care about their feelings and emotions. People are not obliged to learn about the LGBTQ plus community or whatever the case may be, but these individuals should not get angry when their terminologies are incorrectly used against them, because it is very hard now to learn everything that they come up with.
The enactment of Uganda's Anti-Homosexuality Act is a tragic violation of human rights, of universal human rights.
And a lot of individuals had their say, some of them were very cruel. After the break, we get straight into today's topic. Please do not move.
Now that we're in the UK, I just don't know how I'm going to afford the funeral policy. The prices are just too expensive.
Zororo Pumlani, an authorized financial service provider.
Introducing Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan. Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan is always there to cover you and your loved ones. The funeral cover that covers you and your loved ones no matter where you are in the world, be it the UK, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan is always there to cover you. Because saying goodbye shouldn't cost a fortune.
Zororo Pumlani, an authorized financial service provider.
Just-in-Time Television introduced a revolutionary game changer, a massive banner, bringing your live streaming, be it entertainment, news, animation, reality shows, you name it. Visit our website at www.JIT-TVzw, where you can stream just in time and subscribe for only 10 Rand. And don't forget to go on our social media platforms at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. JIT-TV is still yet to bring you. Entertainment is our game.
Welcome back, and you are still watching The Alternative View. Now today we are discussing about the 2023 elections in Zimbabwe. As you know, the elections will be held on the 23rd of August 2023 as announced by President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Elections in Zimbabwe have often been continuous with allegations of electoral fraud, violence and political tensions, of which most ruling party always encounter such situations when it is close to elections.
This process is so peaceful. This is what we want. It should continue now, during the process of campaigning, during the elections, post-election. This is the peace we want as a mature democracy.
Opposition parties such as the Movement of Democratic Change Alliance have challenged the ruling ZANU-PF party in the previous elections.
The Speaker of Zimbabwe's Parliament on Thursday handed over a pre-election report to President Emmerson Mnangagwa as the Southern African country counts down months before its general election. The report contains concerns by members of Parliament on the election.
And once they've received the report from Parliament, they'll look at it and hopefully digest it accordingly. And then after that, they will produce a final report.
On Friday, Mnangagwa is expected to hand over the report to the Electoral Commission to study and consider the issues raised by Parliament. The Commission has yet to announce the exact date for the vote, but it has revealed that it will be held in either July or August.
After 14 days of that handover, His Excellency the President will gazette the final report in terms of the Constitution.
The main political parties for the 2023 elections remain the ruling ZANU-PF and the Citizens Coalition for Change of opposition leader Nelson Chamisa.
Now, President Mnangagwa will be seeking a second term in office. The 8-year-old's main rival is lawyer and pastor Nelson Chamisa, age 45, who leads the newly formed Citizens Coalition for Change, and now demanding access to and an audit of the voters' roll, as well as public media access, which it says will help level the playing field ahead of the polls. It is well known, of course, that President Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF in the 2023 elections will encounter problems as it is already started, as widespread allegations of electoral irregularities, or if the opposition parties and civil society groups perceive the election as unfair.
We paid close to about $250,000 US in cash. ZANU-PF thought that we would not be able to mobilize those resources, but we thank the citizens of Zimbabwe. They forked out, the resources that were required, and we've managed to defeat and shame dictatorship.
Now, such circumstances could lead to political instability, loss of international confidence, and further divisions within the country. Now, Nelson Chamisa, current president of the Citizens Coalition for Change, is the youngest member of the parliament, and Seva Kasukuwere, an ally of the late former president Robert Mugabe, who will be running as an independent candidate, are now going head-to-head with President Mnangagwa. Political analyst Rashweet Makundu said Kasukuwere was picking up the fight that characterized ZANU-PF, thus dividing the ZANU-PF electoral base between President Emmerson Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa. Kasukuwere is coming into the game as a spoiler, and it is difficult to tell at this moment who is going to benefit from the spoiling of the political space that Kasukuwere is going to bring.
Kasukuwere has never ever put himself up for a position. He's always been forwarded by people, and in this instance he was forwarded by the people who were not happy that Mugabe's legacy is in tatters, who were not happy that ZANU-PF legacy is in tatters. ZANU-PF is forwarding Kasukuwere to run for president.
Now, despite Kasukuwere vowing to win the polls and form a government of national unity, President Mnangagwa and Chamisa are buoyant ahead of the election, with both predicting landslide victories, although some observers believe the surprise entrance of former cabinet minister Kasukuwere into the presidential race could spoil the party for two protagonists and force a runoff vote. Kasukuwere, who has been forced to live in exile in South Africa since 2017, military group that disposed Mugabe, he told reporters in Johannesburg apparently he would return to Zimbabwe to canvass support ahead of the polls, accusing President Mnangagwa and his family of state capture, of which it is not true.
How would people trust you when you are part of the system?
Well, but we're part of the system. I don't deny that, but we have seen exactly the ills in our system that must be corrected. We are saying we have been inside. It is also those people who have a better understanding of the inside who should be able to correct this system.
So now my question is there going to be any individual who would want a person with such criminal offenses to rule their country, a whole human being with 2 arrest warrants hanging over his head that were issued even way before he expressed his intentions to contest for the presidency, with police now keen to question him? Only you, my viewers, will let me know.
We will be going to Zimbabwe to campaign in the country. Whatever it takes, I am going to be standing and campaigning in my country.
G40 vakazi parira ivo vana Kasukuwere ndivo vakazvipazita ivo. Zvakauya sei Obama akawina ku-United States, a young man ari muma-40s, tikanzwa kuti vanana Kasukuwere vakuti hurumende yako da vari muma-40s vadiki ndokwakabva G40.
But for now, let us quickly go for an ad break. Please do stick around as I am going to unfold all the amazing, incredible work done by President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Please stay tuned.
Now that we're in the UK, I just don't know how I'm going to afford the funeral policy. The prices are just too expensive.
Zororo Pumlani, an authorized financial service provider.
Introducing Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan. Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan is always there to cover you and your loved ones. The funeral cover that covers you and your loved ones no matter where you are in the world, be it the UK, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. Zororo Pumlani Worldwide Funeral Plan is always there to cover you. Because saying goodbye shouldn't cost a fortune.
Zororo Pumlani, an authorized financial service provider.
Robert Mugabe International Airport Expansion Project. The biggest building project in Zimbabwe is the expansion of the Robert Mugabe International Airport. The Chinese government is paying for the project, which will probably cost $1.5 billion. The runway, taxiways, and terminal building will all be expanded as part of the project. A new control tower and cargo terminal will also be added. The airport will be able to handle 5 million passengers a year after the expansion, which is scheduled to be finished in 2025. An important investment in Zimbabwe's future is this project. It will support the development of Zimbabwe's tourism sector and draw in new businesses. Additionally, the expansion will boost Zimbabweans' quality of life and create jobs.
Number 8.
JIT-TVzw City Stadium Construction Project. The construction of a new stadium in JIT-TVzw is being done as part of the JIT-TVzw City Stadium Construction Project. The Zimbabwean government is providing funding for the project, which will likely cost $100 million. Football games, athletic competitions, and other events will be held in the stadium, which can hold 60,000 spectators. In 2024, the stadium is anticipated to be finished.
Number 7.
Hwange Thermal Power Station Expansion Project. The Hwange Thermal Power Station Expansion Project aims to boost the Hwange Thermal Power Station's capacity. The Chinese government is paying for the project, which will probably cost $1 billion. The power plant's capacity will rise to 600 megawatts as a result of the project's addition of 6 new units. The expansion will aid in supplying the rising demand for electricity in the nation when it is finished in 2025. The energy sector in Zimbabwe will benefit greatly from this project. It will aid in ensuring that the nation has a dependable source of electricity, which is crucial for economic development and growth. Additionally, the expansion will boost Zimbabweans' quality of life and create jobs.
Number 6.
Bight Bridge Border Post Upgrade Project. The Bight Bridge Border Post Upgrade Project aims to modernize Zimbabwe's busiest border post, which is located in Bight Bridge. The African Development Bank is providing funding for the project, which will likely cost $200 million. The project will modernize the infrastructure of the border post, including its roads, structures, and customs facilities. The upgrade will increase the effectiveness of cross-border trade and is anticipated to be finished in 2024. The trade sector in Zimbabwe will benefit greatly from this project. It will contribute to making border crossing quicker and simpler, which will increase trade between Zimbabwe and its neighbors. Additionally, the upgrade will benefit Zimbabweans' quality of life and generate jobs.
Number 5.
National Railways of Zimbabwe Rehabilitation Project. A project to restore the national railways of Zimbabwe is called the National Railways of Zimbabwe Rehabilitation Project. The World Bank is providing funding for the project, which will probably cost $500 million. The project will repair the tracks, bridges, and locomotives, as well as the rest of the railway's infrastructure. The rehabilitation, which will help to increase the railway's effectiveness and lower the cost of goods transportation, is anticipated to be finished in 2025. The transportation industry in Zimbabwe will benefit greatly from this project. It will contribute to making shipping goods simpler and more affordable, which will help the economy. Additionally, the rehabilitation will boost employment opportunities and Zimbabweans' standard of living.
Number 4.
Victoria Falls Airport Expansion Project. An additional significant building project in Zimbabwe is the expansion of the Victoria Falls Airport. The European Union is paying for the project, which should cost $200 million. The airport's runway and terminal building will both be expanded by the project. A new control tower and cargo terminal will also be added. The airport will be able to handle 1 million passengers annually once the expansion is finished, which is anticipated in 2024. A sizable investment has been made in this project for Zimbabwe's tourism sector. It will contribute to Victoria Falls becoming a more alluring travel destination. Additionally, the expansion will boost Zimbabweans' quality of life and create jobs. Number 3. Norton Dam Construction Project. The construction of a new dam in Norton is being done as part of the Norton Dam Construction Project. The Zimbabwean government is providing funding for the project, which will likely cost $200 million. The dam's 100 million cubic meter storage capacity will be used to store water for drinking and irrigation. In 2025, the dam is anticipated to be finished. Number 2. Mutare City Water Supply Project. The Mutare City Water Supply Project is a project to improve the water supply in Mutare. The project is being funded by the government of Zimbabwe and it is expected to cost $100 million. The project will upgrade the city's water treatment plant and distribution network. The project is expected to be completed in 2024. Number 1. Bindura City Roads Rehabilitation Project. The project to repair Bindura's roads is called the Bindura City Roads Rehabilitation Project. The Zimbabwean government is providing financial support for the $50 million project. The project will rehabilitate all of the city's roads, including the major thoroughfares, side streets, and pedestrian walkways. In 2024, the project is anticipated to be finished.
Welcome back. Thank you for still watching The Alternative View with Umaqindi Imina Loyo. Now let us start off here. Unemployment, poverty, and a stagnant economy are among the main issues for voters in Zimbabwe. Many in Zimbabwe have found themselves caught in a wave of high inflation, unable to afford the basics. Now add several other social issues, including crime, to the mix, and there is a recipe for deep-seated voter dissatisfaction. Now, the two main candidates for the August elections are expected to be 80-year-old incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa from the governing ZANU-PF party and his young rival opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. So now the question to the public is that will they be able to deliver on the promises they were making to the people of Zimbabwe? Now the future is never predictable. We can never know what will happen when the time comes for the 2023's elections in Zimbabwe, but we can only answer for what we are seeing right now and take time to appreciate and praise our president for bringing huge positive impact in the people of Zimbabwe and the country itself.
We have concerns around certain of the issues, particularly the issue of the voters' roll, but it's an issue that we hope is going to be resolved once the candidates have been nominated.
The Southern African country goes to the polls on August 23rd to elect a president and a legislature.
It was a free, fair, transparent process from the period of campaigning to the period of the actual voting. Everybody has declared the process free, peaceful, and transparent.
Now let us talk about the positive effects. Economic reforms to start off. President Mnangagwa's government introduced a series of economic reforms amid stabilizing the country's economy, which included international financial institutions.
After 2 years of successive contraction, things are looking up again for Zimbabwe's economy. A good rainy season in 2020 has been the catalyst for the rebound, which has some market watchers concurring with the International Monetary Fund's positive growth projections.
The Zimbabwean economy is largely agrarian, so 60% of the raw materials that are used in the manufacturing sector emanate from the agric sector. So if you have got a bumper harvest, especially for strategic crops such as maize, wheat and soya, then it does also tends to lead to an improvement in capacity utilization for the industry.
Manufacturing contribution to GDP rose to 18% in 2021, a boon for formal enterprises that are trying to claw back market share from the expanding informal sector.
Implemented policies to attract foreign investment, improve export-oriented industries, your land reform and agriculture, anti-corruption drive, a way to tackle corruption, which has long been a significant issue in Zimbabwe. Infrastructure development to enhance connectivity and drive economic growth. Projects such as the rehabilitation of roads, bridges, and airports have been undertaken to improve transportation networks within the country. Investments have made in energy infrastructure to address power shortages and promote reliable electricity supply. International relations. He has went beyond, actively sought to re-engage with the international community. This has involved efforts to improve relations with Western countries. Not that we are in favor with them and their sanctions, don't get me wrong. You know, such as the United States and the European Union, and foster partnerships with regional organizations. These diplomatic initiatives are aimed to secure financial aid, attract investments, and promote trade opportunities for Zimbabwe. And lastly, to end things off, now with an outstanding 193 candidates successfully filing nomination papers to contest the Bulawayo City's Council's 29 wards, the Crowdray Park, the stage is set for a vibrant democratic press. ZANU-PF's unopposed provincial council election victory further solidifies their role in driving the city's future. I quote, "We continue to call for unconditional removal of illegal sanctions imposed on us by some Western countries. Innovative strategies should be deployed to improve the welfare of workers, and the local communities should not be left behind." Unfortunately, it is the time to say our goodbyes to each other. Thank you so much for tuning in till the end. Please do make sure to comment on Twitter. It is at JIT-Entertainment. Instagram, it's at JIT-TV_ZW. On Facebook, we are JIT-TVzw. Or rather, you can go to our website at www.JIT-TV.tv to stream and watch all your favorite shows at your own comfort zone. But for now, that is all from me to you. Hope to see you again next week. Same time, same place. Nisaleni kahle.
ZANU-PF uyiphathi yethu silulindile lokhetho manyaka sivote Zimbabwe silulindile lokhetho manyaka sivote Zimbabwe ZANU-PF uyiphathi yethu
Panezwa ndiri kungonzwa mumoyo mangu shumba vari kungondizevezera muhana vati nzira takakura chingovhota itakapinda vhota chinyararire zvinyo zvinyoronyoro ZANU-PF hande tonavhotera hande ZANU-PF hande tonavhotera hande ZANU-PF hande tonavhotera hande.
The revolution shall be televised. JIT TV, just in time.
Today, in the heart of Zimbabwe, a remarkable phenomenon is taking place. A gold rush fueled by indigenous investors and businessmen. These brave individuals, including black multimillionaires and billionaires, are the driving force behind the capitalization of Zimbabwe's mining, agriculture and industrial sectors. However, this gold rush, which is massively boosting the economy by building large capital reserves, is threatened. For over 2 decades, Zimbabwe has faced illegal sanctions imposed by Western elitist powers such as the United States, European Union and United Kingdom. These sanctions were designed to cripple the Zimbabwean economy, depriving it of much-needed capital. Over the past 2 decades, these illegal sanctions have devastated the humble African nation, resulting in one of the worst human rights violations of the modern world. Despite having the power to end these illegal, immoral and unethical sanctions, Western powers, fueled by the greed of the global banking elite, refuse to allow Zimbabwe equitable and fair access to global trade. But resilient as it is, Zimbabwe has found alternative means to thrive. Native Zimbabwean businessmen are defying these overwhelming powers and their illegal sanctions that have affected the lives of all Zimbabweans. They do so by investing large portions of their hard-earned capital into local communities through funding of Zim Industries. They invest heavily in gold, mineral and tobacco exports, which play a significant role in generating capital for Zim agricultural, agro-processing, mining and construction sectors, amongst others. These patriots have helped unlock the potential for wealth creation and local savings for all Zimbabweans, which further drives economic growth. However, the very nations and powers that impose sanctions on them are now attempting to undermine their progress. They have resorted to tarnishing the reputations of their successful investors and business people, branding them as money launderers through media propaganda, fake news, and disinformation campaigns. Their objective is to isolate these individuals from the global banking system, hindering their ability to contribute to Zim's economic development and growth. Yet despite these challenges, Zimbabwe's gold rush continues unabated. It is a testament to the determination and resilience of their people. The success of their indigenous investors and business leaders cannot be denied, and their contributions to transforming the Zim economy from within has been nothing short of phenomenal. Let Zimbabweans heed this call to unity, a call to rise above the challenges that have been imposed upon them. Zimbabwe is facing a battle on two fronts: the onslaught of Western media propaganda and the burden of unjust sanctions. Now is the time to stand united, to reject the narrative spun by those who seek to undermine the nation's progress. Zimbabweans cannot allow themselves to be divided by the lies and distortions that are fed to them. Western media propaganda aims to paint a distorted picture of their great nation. They seek to diminish their achievements, to cast doubt upon their capabilities, and to erode their national pride. But they know the truth, the resilience and ingenuity that course through their veins, the strength of their collective spirit. Zimbabweans have faced adversities before and emerged stronger. They are a nation built upon the foundations of determination, unity, and unwavering resilience. Together, they can break free from the shackles of illegal sanctions. They can overcome the barriers that seek to hold them back. It is through their unity and unwavering resilience that they shall triumph. In their pursuit of progress, let them stand firmly united with their native billionaire and millionaire investors who are driving the capitalization of their nation. These visionary individuals like Simon Rudland, Kuda Tagwire, Makandiwa and Scott Sakupwanya, and many others, are investing their wealth, expertise and passion into Zimbabwe. They are creating jobs, empowering communities and driving the economy forward. Their success is our success. Let us celebrate their contributions and recognize that we are all in this together. With their support and Zim's collective determination, we can build a brighter future for the great nation.